Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Asim Kumar from Delhi Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research, New Delhi. Today I am going to talk about the module Pharmacosomes from the paper Novel Drug Delivery System 2. So students, let's see what we are going to learn from this module. Today we are going to learn about the pharmacosomes as drug delivery systems, the advantages which are associated with the pharmacosomes, the limitations of the pharmacosomes, the various methods of preparation which are used to prepare pharmacosomes, what are the various parameters which we use to characterize the pharmacosomes, that is characterization of pharmacosomes, and various applications of pharmacosomes in various ailments or diseases. Introduction. First of all, we'll introduce to the pharmacosomes. Means what is the need of pharmacosomes or why the pharmacosomes are required. The pharmacosomes or the because pharmacosomes are a type of vesicular drug delivery systems. So pharmacosomes are required because there are some problems which are related with the conventional dosage form. Conventional dosage form means tablets, capsules which are existing. So these problems they can be overcome by the use of pharmacosomes. The problems which are associated with the conventional dosage form include reduced therapeutic value of the drug. Reduced therapeutic value of the drug means whatever the effect that we can produce from a minimum amount of drug in pharmacosomes cannot be achieved using conventional dosage form. Second is no control over the release of drug. In conventional dosage form, the issue is that we cannot control the release of the drug in a way or in a desired way, but in pharmacosomes we can do this. We can have an advantage that we can control the release of the drug. Third is non-targeting of the drug to the desired site. In pharmacosomes we can also resolve this problem, that we can target the drug to the desired site, that means desired organ or the desired tissue. So next is definition of pharmacosomes. Pharmacosome, the word pharmacosomes, it has been derived from the two Greek words. One is pharmakon and another one is soma. Pharmakon means drug and soma means carrier. So pharmacosome is a drug delivery system in which the drug is linked to a carrier. So in a defined way we can say that pharmacosome is a neutral molecule having both negative as well as positive charge, means having both hydrophilic as well as lipophilic properties, means it can incorporate both lipophilic as well as hydrophilic drugs. In the pharmacosomes we have optimal concentration or optimal proportion of polyphenols and phospholipids, and these drugs they are bonded with the lipids or they are connected with the lipids with a hydrogen bond. So in a simple way what we can do is we can define the pharmacosomes as a neutral molecule having both negative and positive charge with an optimum concentration of or proportion of polyphenols and phospholipids, in which the drug is linked to the lipids or the phospholipids forming a hydrogen bond. So pharmacosomes basically they appear as colloids, nanometric size micelles, vesicles, or in the form of hexagonal assembly which enjoys a functional hydrogen atom banking upon the architecture of the complex. The drug entity with a free carboxylic or functional hydrogen atom such as amino or hydroxyl group is transformed to ester with the help of hydroxyl moiety of the lipid, producing a prodrug. This prodrug possesses both the advantages of lipophilic as well as hydrophilic molecule, means it can incorporate both hydrophilic and lipophilic drug, and as well as it can also have the advantage that the interfacial tension can be reduced and the bioavailability of the formulation can be enhanced. Next is salient features. Salient features means unique features which are associated with the pharmacosomes. In pharmacosomes, the entrapment efficiency is not affected by volume of inclusion, whereas the entrapment efficiency is affected by volume of inclusion in the case of liposomes. in pharmacosomes, membrane fluidity is subjected to the phase transition temperature, whereas in liposomes, the composition of the lipid determines the phase transition temperature or the membrane fluidity of the system. In pharmacosomes, the drug of the release is by hydrolysis, means the drug get detached from the polymer through the hydrolysis, whereas in liposomes the drug get detached from the liposomes using the phenomena of surface desorption or degradation of the formulation. And the unique advantage especially which is related with this dosage form includes that there is no leakage of the drug from the vesicles, means from the pharmacosomes. It means that 100% of the drug gets incorporated into the system and there is no need to remove the leak drug or the extra drug. So it is the unique advantage which is associated with the pharmacosomes. Next is advantages of pharmacosomes. The main advantage which is associated with the pharmacosomes is that it is suitable for both hydrophilic and lipophilic drugs, which it means that both the drugs which are soluble in water as well as in lipid, they can be incorporated into the pharmacosomes. Then the next advantage is that there is concentration dependent aggregation, which means that if you add more water into the pharmacosomes, it will aggregate less. So more dilution of the formulation will give you better result. Third is high entrapment efficiency due to covalent bonding. High entrapment efficiency is observed in the case of pharmacosomes because 100% or almost all of the drug gets connected with the lipid or the phospholipid, and this happens due to the covalent bonding. And the next advantage is entrapment efficiency is not affected by volume of inclusion, which is observed in the case of liposomes. Now the next advantage is that there is no need to remove the free drug, as we can see in the case of liposomes. In liposomes there is a need to remove the free drug, and in pharmacosomes because all of the drug gets connected with the lipid or phospholipid, so there is no need to remove the free drug. In pharmacosomes there is no leaching of drug takes place, which is observed in the case of liposomes and other vesicular drug delivery systems. In pharmacosomes the drug is released by hydrolysis, whereas in others or in liposomes the drug is released by surface desorption or degradation of the lipids. And what are the unique advantages of pharmacosomes over other systems? The pharmacosomes have a advantage that it requires a very simple method of preparation, means there is no specialized instruments or no specialized skills are required or no specialized persons are required to prepare the pharmacosomes. The mechanism of drug release in pharmacosomes is hydrolysis, whereas in liposomes the drug is released by bilayer diffusion, surface desorption or degradation of liposomes. So what we can say is that because the drug is connected with the lipid through hydrogen bonding, so the drug gets detached only when the system faces the water. Now the next advantage is that in liposomes the entrapment efficiency is dependent on the volume of inclusion, but the same is not observed in the case of pharmacosomes. Limitations of pharmacosomes. As a drug delivery system, the pharmacosomes does possess a lot of advantages and benefits, but the pharmacosomes also have few limitations. The first limitation is that the covalent bonding is necessary to stop the leakage of drugs. As I have already told you that pharmacosomes have the advantage that there is no leakage of drug. So why there is no leakage of drug? The leakage of drug is not possible because there is a covalent bonding between the drug and the phospholipid. So covalent bonding is an essential feature of this pharmacosomes as formulation or as drug delivery system. The next limitation is that the amphiphilic feature is responsible for the preparation of a compound, which means that it must possess both hydrophilic as well as lipophilic characters. Next is that the basic foundation of the pharmacosomes is the surface and the bulk interaction of a lipid with drugs. Now, the next limitation of pharmacosome is that the pharmacosomes on storage, they can undergo leakage, aggregation, as well as chemical hydrolysis. So we need to check these aspects while storing. Construction material. Construction material that we use in pharmacosomes, it includes drug, solvent, and lipid. So first of all, I'll discuss about the drug. The drugs possessing active hydrogen atom, they may be esterified to the lipid with or without spacer chain, which in turn promote membrane, tissue, or cell wall transfer of the drug in the organism. So actually the drugs having an active moiety, they can only form the hydrogen bond with the lipid. So basically the esterification of the drug is necessary, and which ultimately forms the amphiphilic complex. Solvents. The solvents used in the formulation of pharmacosomes must be pure and volatile in nature. The purity means that it must be free from any toxic material or any toxic agent, even in the concentration of ppm. So solvent which is having a polarity between phospholipid and drug is normally chosen for pharmacosome preparation, so that it can dissolve both phospholipid as well as the drug. Lipids are the main structural components of the biological membrane, and the lipids basically are of two types which are used in pharmacosomes or which are used in manufacturing of pharmacosomes. One is phosphodiglycerides, another one is sphingolipids. Their corresponding hydrolysis products are also available for use, but the most common phospholipid is used in the preparation of pharmacosomes is phosphatidylcholine. Phosphatidylcholine is an amphipathic molecule in which a glycerol bridge joins a pair of hydrophobic acyl hydrocarbon chain with a hydrophilic polar head. Mostly commercially available lecithin products contain 20% phosphatidylcholine. Lecithin carrying phosphatidylcholine can be obtained from various sources, including vegetable sources as well as animal and microbial sources. Phosphatidylcholine possesses two advantages. One is that the clinical studies shows that choline is necessary for normal liver functioning, and it also acts as an active hepatoprotective. And in vitro studies have also shown that these phosphatidylcholine increase hepatic collagenase activity and prevent fibrosis and cirrhosis by enhancing collagen breakdown. Another advantage is that it also helps to maintain integrity of the cell membrane. Methods of preparation. Mainly two methods are employed for preparing the pharmacosomes, but primarily for preparing pharmacosome, a drug lipid conjugate is required, and to accomplish this need, the drug which is available in salt form is transferred or transformed into acidic form to reveal the functional hydrogen atom that is essential to form the complex. The aqueous solution of the drug is made acidic, extracted by chloroform, followed by recrystallization. Then equimolar concentration of phospholipid is taken and dissolved in an organic solvent, which is followed by evaporation under vacuum at a defined temperature. Then this obtained residue is kept in a desiccator for overnight, and the final product is then collected as a dry residue. For preparing pharmacosomes, normally two methods are employed. One is solvent evaporation technique and another one is ether injection technique. In solvent evaporation technique, there are two methods. One is hand shaking method and another one is rotary evaporator. In hand shaking method, the drug lipid complex is incorporated into an organic solvent. Then it is placed under the vacuum for evaporating the solvent, and the pharmacosomes result in the form of deposits as a thin film on the wall of the round bottom flask and forms a vesicular suspension whenever they encounter the aqueous medium, means whenever they are dissolved in water. The same phenomenon is obtained, or the same phenomenon takes place when we simply use this procedure using rotary evaporator. Then the next technique is ether injection technique. In this method, the drug lipid conjugate is dissolved in an organic solvent. Then this mixture is injected dropwise into a hot aqueous solution, resulting in the production of vesicles. The existence of amphiphils depends on the concentration. Whenever the concentration is low, amphiphils form a monomer state, but as the concentration is raised, various types of structures are formed, which may be round, cylindrical, disc, cubic, or hexagonal, etc. Mentele and collaborators observed the relative effect of prodrug of diglyceride with the standard surfactant dodecylamine hydrochloride on the surface tension, and it was found that above the CMC, that is critical micellar concentration, the long cylinders were observed in hexagonal arrangement and the prodrug appeared in liquid crystalline phase, showing a large molecular structure. In method of preparation, there are various formulation variables which may affect the formulation. So these formulation variables, the first is the lipid drug ratio. The more uniform ratio will be used, means if 1 to 1 ratio of lipid and drug is used, the pharmacosomes will be formed in cluster. So what we normally do is that we use a lipid with low concentration, we use the lipid with high concentration and drug in low concentration, so that we can get round uniform pharmacosomes. Next is concentration of water. So if we are using water in more concentration, then a more dilute solution will be observed and the effect of pharmacosomes will be much more in comparison to when we are using water in low concentration, because whenever we will be using water in low concentration, and aggregates will be formed and the aggregates will not distribute or will not get released in the desired manner. Characterization of pharmacosomes. To characterize pharmacosomes, various techniques are used. The first is Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy. In this technique, the formation of drug lipid complex may be validated by infrared spectroscopy by matching the spectra of the drug lipid complex with the individual components and their mechanical mixture. Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy is an important analytical tool for evaluation of stability of pharmacosomes. Stability can be assessed by comparing the spectra of the complex in the solid form with its microdispersion in water after lyophilization at various time intervals. Next is surface morphology. Surface morphology of pharmacosomes can be detected using scanning electron microscopy, that is SEM, or transmission electron microscopy, that is TEM. The size and the shape of pharmacosomes may vary depending upon the purity grade of phospholipids used and the parameters such as speed of rotation, vacuum applied, or method of preparation. Pharmacosomes prepared by lipid of low purity give rise to a greasy product, which in turn forms sticky large aggregates. Pharmacosomes formulated using very high grades of purity, that is more than 90%, the lipids are susceptible to oxidative degradation thus adversely affecting the stability of the complex, means pharmacosomes. So normally the phospholipids of 80% purity must be used. Next characterization parameter is solubility studies. Solubility studies for drug, phospholipid and their physical mixture and pharmacosomes should be done to ascertain the amphiphilic nature of the pharmacosomes. The apparent partition coefficient may be determined using the shake flask method, in which two phases are mutually separated or saturated before use. Equal volumes of buffer solution with the pH range from 2 to 7.4 and 1 octanol containing phospholipid complex are mixed thoroughly in the screw capped penicillin bottles and equilibrated under constant shaking at 37 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. After separation of two phases, the aqueous phase is taken and the concentration of the drug in the aqueous phase is determined using HPLC or UV spectrophotometry. Then the next parameter is differential scoring colorimetry. This thermoanalytical technique is used to determine drug excipient compatibility and to detect the possible interactions. Using this technique, an interaction may be confirmed by elimination of endothermic peak or peaks, emergence of new peak or new peaks, change in the shape of peak and its inception, and peak temperature or melting point, as well as the area of the peak or enthalpy of the mixture. X-ray powder diffraction. X-ray powder diffraction is done to know the degree of crystallinity by using relative integrated intensity of reflection peaks. The integrated intensity is measured by the area under curve, that is AUC of the XRPD pattern, and it shows the specimen characteristics. Next is dissolution studies. In vitro dissolution studies are performed on various available models for the objective or for the purpose for which the pharmacosomes are going to be used. The results are evaluated on the basis of release of active constituent in the medium. So the dissolution studies may be conducted in various mediums which may reflect the release pattern of the drug from the pharmacosomes in various mediums. Applications of pharmacosomes. Pharmacosomes have wide applications, but some of the applications are discussed here. Then the first is bioavailability enhancement using pharmacosomes after oral administration. Pharmacosomes possess the ability to increase the drug absorption and its transport. Yu et al. And colleagues optimize the geniposide pharmacosomes and observe their attributes. The optimum ratio between phospholipid and drug reaction mixture temperature and concentration of the drug come out to be 350 degrees centigrade and 5.5 mg per ml respectively. And the study showed that the pharmacosomes may be an alternative method to enhance the absorption as well as permeation of biologically active constituent, which means drug. Next, Ramakant et al. They reported pharmacosomes as structural molecules which are capable of transporting biologically active material like nucleic acids and proteins to the target site, which means that nucleic acids as well as proteins, they can also be targeted or they can also be delivered using pharmacosomes. Then next, Rawat et al. Prepared and evaluated amphiphilic phytophospholipid complex of baclane. Solubility ratio of baclane in water and octanol was increased considerably in the complex, and improved dissolution was shown by the phospholipid complex. The results of the study also demonstrated that baclane phospholipid complex may act as a potential drug delivery system for enhancing the absorption and overall bioavailability of backline molecule. Backline is an herbal molecule which is used for various purposes. Pharmacosomes in solubility enhancement. Pharmacosomes have an immense potential to enhance the solubility of the drugs. The examples include Simalti et al. They developed and characterized pharmacosomes of naringenin in which naringenin was complexed with phosphatidylcholine in equimolar ratio, that is 1 to 1, with the help of dichloromethane. Water solubility of naringenin increased from 43.83 microgram per ml to 79.31 microgram per ml in the prepared complex, and 99.8% release of naringenin was observed from the complex at the end of 10 hours of dissolution study, in comparison to 27% of drug release which was observed with the free naringenin. Hence, it may be concluded that the phospholipid complex of naringenin possesses potential for enhancing bioavailability. Then Simalti et al. Prepared pharmacosomes of diclofenac with an equimolar ratio of diclofenac and phosphatidylcholine in the presence of dichloromethane using the conventional solvent evaporation technique, and it was observed that solubility of drug was enhanced in pharmacosomes, that is 22.1 microgram per ml, as compared to the diclofenac as free drug, which was 10.5 microgram per ml. The drug content of diclofenac pharmacosomes was found to be 96.2 plus minus 1% after 10 hours of dissolution. In vitro drug release was also increased from 60.4% to 87.8% in case of pharmacosomes of diclofenac in comparison to the free drug, which means that it improves water solubility and it has a potential and it can reduce the gastrointestinal irritation which is caused by diclofenac. Kamlesh et al. Prepared pharmacosomes of ketoprofen by solvent evaporation technique, that is the conventional one, to increase the solubility and bioavailability in different media with minimizing the gastrointestinal disturbances. Two different ratios of drug and phosphatidylcholine in 1:1 and 1:2 were used to form pharmacosomes or to prepare pharmacosomes. Drug content was observed 93.28% weight by weight for 1:1 complex of ketoprofen and phospholipid complex, and 85.44% weight by weight for 1:2 complex of ketoprofen and phospholipid complex. Ketoprofen phospholipid complex in 1:1 showed better solubility profile than ketoprofen phospholipid complex in 1:2. Further studies were carried out by optimizing the ketoprofen phospholipid complex, that is in 1:1 ratio. Then the scanning electron microscopy and particle size analysis revealed differences between the formulations as to their appearance and size distribution. X-ray and DSA examination showed the amorphous nature of the drug. Then the solubility of pure ketoprofen is 8.741 milligram per ml in pH 6.8 buffer, which has improved up to 18.232 milligram per ml, which shows an increase up to 2.09 fold, which means that the pharmacosomes thus possess the potential to increase the solubility as well as the bioavailability of ketoprofen. Then the dissolution pattern of the prepared complex showed 93.30% cumulative drug release after 5 hours in comparison to the pure ketoprofen, which showed 49.77% after 5 hours. Then Muller and Hammond prepared phenobarbital pharmacosomes employing a modified technique which involves diluting lyotropic liquid crystals of amphiphilic drugs. The resulting pharmacosomes showed improved solubility and dissolution profile. Then Simalti et al. Prepared pharmacosomes of aspirin with soya phospholipid of 80% purity in 1 to 1 ratio, 1 to 1 molar ratio, and found that the dissolution of aspirin improved from 69.42% to 90.93% after 10 hours of dissolution study in pH 1.2 acid buffer. So, this complex has the potential to enhance the bioavailability since it enhances the solubility of aspirin. Bioavailability enhancement using pharmacosomes after intravenous administration. Jung et al. Prepared nanometric pharmacosomes of acyclovir using tetrahydrofuran injection. And in the rabbit model, it was noticed that the plasma proteins present in the blood absorb pharmacosomes and inhibit its interaction with erythrocyte, and hence there is a reduction in hemolytic action which is caused due to acyclovir. Then Apinge et al. Prepared pharmacosomes from 5-cholesterol succinyl dideoxyinosine, the lipophilic prodrug of DDL, that is dideoxyinosine, employing a tetrahydrofuran injection method. In vivo effect of pharmacosomes was explored in rats by determining the CSDDL, that is 5-cholesterol succinyl dideoxyinosine, and DDL in plasma and tissues with HPLC. Developed tube-shaped DDL pharmacosomes were in the size range of about 200 nanometer, and the half-life of CSDDL in plasma of rat was observed as 7.64 minutes. It was also observed that CSDDL concentration in the liver rapidly following its IV administration. Its elimination from the target tissue was also very slow, and the half-life of the drug in the liver was 10 days. Hence, it may be concluded that the pharmacosomes show potential for liver targeting and sustained release effect in the target tissues. Zhang et al. Aim to optimize the formulation of 3-5-dioctanoyl 5-fluoro-2-deoxyzuridine pharmacosomes. Zhang and Wang observed that pharmacosomes can improve the capability of the drug to cross the blood-brain barrier and may act as a potential drug targeting system for therapy of central nervous system ailments. Vasulu and Spacer prepared glycerol monosterate esters of weak base drug pindolol via succinic acid as spacer and obtained maleate salt as two isomers. This prodrug, having structural similarity with lecithin, reduced the interfacial tension between benzene and water, and opalescent vesicular dispersion could be obtained by film method and ether injection method. The results show 3 to 5 times higher plasma concentration of pindolol when administered intravenously in beagle dogs in comparison to the free drug. Bioavailability enhancement after topical administration of pharmacosomes. Gupta et al. Prepared the complex of curcumin with phosphatidylcholine, and the curcumin and phosphatidylcholine complex showed an anti-aging effect in rats, and it also showed antioxidant, anti-aging, and anti-wrinkle effect. Then the bioavailability enhancement after ocular administration. The pharmacosomes, the amphiphilic lipid vascular system, can be used in development of novel ophthalmic dosage forms. Amphiphilic prodrugs are transformed into pharmacosomes when diluted with water and can increase corneal drug transport and release profile, which was observed by many researchers. Do you know that the pharmacosomes were first prepared in 1982 by McCosh? Second, pharmacosomes are also known as vesicular constructs. Third is, pharmacosomes are the only drug delivery systems which can deliver both hydrophilic as well as lipophilic drugs. Do you know that the drugs having active hydrogen can only be formulated as pharmacosomes? Next is that the sphingolipids used in pharmacosomes were first discovered in brain extracts in 1870. Do you know that the phosphatidylcholine is absent in most of the bacteria? Do you know a simple rotary evaporator system was invented by Lehman C. Craig? Do you also know that the pharmacosomes are less than 20 nanometer in size? Next is the pharmacosomes are unique in precise delivery of drugs, which means that they can precisely deliver the drug in a specific organ or in a specific tissue. Do you also know that pharmacosomes are the best amongst other vesicular systems in improving the stability of drugs? So students, let's see what we have learned from this module. We have learned from this module is that the vesicular drug delivery systems are emerging as the potential substitute to the existing systems. Despite having few drawbacks of the vesicular drug delivery systems like aggregation, fusion, etc., they still play a vital role in drug targeting and sustaining drug delivery. Then the pharmacosomes, they have the immense potential to enhance the drug delivery as well as the bioavailability of the drug as well as the targeting of the drug to the specific organ. The pharmacosomes does possess a predetermined and high entrapment efficiency, which is a unique feature to this drug delivery system. And another unique advantage or the unique benefit of this system is that there is no loss of the drug, which means the 100% of the drug is going to get utilized. And this system also has a high stability, means improved stability over the other vesicular drug delivery systems like liposome and niosomes. Thank you.